As Pakistan heads to the polls this week, it is one of the most lackluster campaigns seen in recent years. That's because everyone seems to know that the result is almost a foregone conclusion. The all-powerful military is using its familiar playbook to sideline its biggest nemesis, former Prime Minister Imran Khan. Former Prime Minister Khan, who once was a favorite with the generals in Rawalpindi, ran out of favor and was ousted by the Pakistan Parliament in 2022. Since then, his party, the PTI, and its candidates have been detained or simply forced to quit the party. Many of them have been arrested, their homes have been ransacked, all in a bid to try and intimidate. No one has been spared, neither the candidates, their relatives, sometimes even their pets. Army officials have prevented PTI candidates from campaigning, they have censored news coverage of the party, they have even used internet blackouts to block live streams of speeches by Imran Khan. Last week, Imran Khan, who's been in jail since August of last year, was sentenced to 10 years in prison on charges of leaking official secrets. In addition, he also got a 14-year jail term in a separate corruption case called the Toshakhana case, in which he's accused of selling off expensive state gifts. And late last week, he was given another 7-year sentence, and so was his wife, Bushra Bibi. The charge against them was that their marriage was un-Islamic, and that the nikah, or the marriage, had not happened as per proper Islamic law. Military intervention in Pakistan's elections is not new. The military has ruled over the country for more than half of its time since independence, either directly or through proxies. While direct army rule has stopped in recent decades, the military now prefers to rule by proxy. They first backed Imran Khan in 2018, and then when things started to go south, they jailed Khan and are now said to be backing former Prime Minister Nawaz Sharif. But the current crackdown by the military has been more visible than those in previous years, and that makes this year's vote among the least credible in Pakistan's history. These elections will not have any legitimacy, perhaps even less than the 2018 elections in which Imran Khan was elected Prime Minister. And if an elected government does not seem to have the people's legitimacy, then you cannot expect to see either political stability or even economic stability. The military has wielded a heavier hand this time because it's confronting a particularly turbulent time in Pakistan. The country has seen years of economic turmoil, its foreign reserves have plunged, the economy has gone into the doldrums, it has had to go to the IMF on multiple occasions seeking a bailout. It's also feeling pressure from all three of its neighbors, India to the east, Afghanistan to the north, and Iran to its east. All three countries have been challenging Pakistan's status as a nuclear-armed country that has 240 million people. For most of Pakistan's existence, the military has stifled civilian governments from ruling freely. When Imran Khan was ousted after a dispute over the military leadership, he accused the generals of orchestrating a coup against him. At rallies that were attended by tens of thousands of his supporters, Imran Khan publicly took the names of generals who he accused of plotting against him. This was unprecedented. Direct criticism of the army leadership was unheard of in a country where people always spoke in hushed tones whenever the forge was to be criticized. Viral videos created by Imran Khan's party has stoked frustration with the military among a large base of young supporters. In this election too, more than half the voters will be first-timers. A large number of them happen to be supporters of Imran Khan. They're also for the first time coming to terms with what the army's hold is on their country's politics. When Imran Khan was arrested back in May, hundreds of thousands of protesters attacked military installations. The May 9th violence was perhaps the first time that military buildings were targeted. Houses and offices of generals, brigadiers, you name it, nothing was spared in that attack. Government officials have denied any unlawful meddling in the elections in a way to try and sideline Imran Khan and his party. They have defended arrests of PTI leaders as a necessary response to the violent protests that happened back in May. Most election observers expect a victory by the Pakistan Muslim League Nawaz, or the PMLN, which is the party of former Prime Minister Nawaz Sharif. Sharif himself was not exactly a favorite of the army. In 2017, he was convicted in a corruption case. He was forced to flee to London. He lived in exile for the better part of the last 5 years. Earlier too, back in the late 1990s, he was ousted in a coup by General Pervez Musharraf and forced to flee to Saudi Arabia. Sharif, in his latest avatar, has come back to Pakistan a few months ago after reportedly cutting a deal with the army. Once again, he happens to be in the good books of the army and is expected to become Prime Minister for a fourth time. But the current crackdown has made this perhaps Pakistan's most muted election in decades. Streets that would normally be filled with political rallies have been empty for weeks now. Many people were convinced that the election could not even happen on the 8th of February, that was the scheduled date. What the army is trying to do is to demoralize and confuse supporters of PTI and Imran Khan, and through that they're hoping to stop PTI voters from going to the polls. It looks highly unlikely that PTI voters would come out. They feel that they already know what the result is going to be, that this is a fixed match. Last month, Imran Khan's party was also barred from using its iconic cricket bat symbol. Khan, after all, was associated with cricket. He won Pakistan a World Cup. That's the only time that country has won the World Cup. Losing the election symbol was a critical blow to this party in a country where about 40% of the people are illiterate. Voters, more often than not, rely on election symbols to identify which candidate belongs to which party. PTI candidates have also effectively lost their ability to campaign. Permits to hold public rallies have either been completely cancelled or just denied. Printing companies have been told not to produce any posters of Imran Khan, and those that do manage to get Imran Khan posters printed, they quickly disappear. To shore up support, PTI candidates are now campaigning in the shadows. They're having small private gatherings as opposed to big public ones. The crackdown on PTI supporters has reached into the pockets of Pakistani society, which was once safe from military harassment. Women have been arrested in droves in connection with what happened in May, the violence that we saw back in May. Even the elite in Pakistan, which have traditionally had close ties to the military, even they have not been spared. In fact, the arrest of a granddaughter of a former army chief sent shockwaves through the upper echelons of Pakistani society. Khadija Shah is a well-known PTI supporter. She faces charges of terrorism, sedition and rioting. She was granted bail just last month after spending months in jail on what was clearly trumped-up charges. Many believe the military was using her to deliver a warning to the rest of the country's elite that the all-powerful Pakistan Army's reach will not spare anyone. Not former prime ministers, not even the granddaughter of a former army chief.